Can't go out like that. You know, you gotta stick around and go out on top.
Okay, Paula, did you have anything else you needed? Us. Okay. Anybody have anything else for Paula?
Thank you.
Thank you again for all your hard work on this. We really appreciate it.
Grant, is that in process or?
It has been submitted, but I've not heard anything.
All right. Dave, you want to talk about the CCMG project proposal a little bit?
Yeah, so Colin's pushing for 2027 call date, which means we got as a town got to make up our mind what exactly what we want to do as a project. And then do we want BF&S to be the engineering firm, which they've done all of our CCMG stuff in town. Talked a little bit with Joey. Pipe dream would be to do Madison Street all the way around to the blacktop. I don't believe we have enough funds in MVH to cover that. So I think for the 2027 call, our best bet would be Madison Street to Center, no, to gas line.
From Jackson.
From the highway, which would cover about $400,000 worth of stormwater. So this will eliminate the flooding on those 3 or 4 houses there. We can tie in a bunch of water. I'm going to push BF&S to get with the county drainage board, since a lot of that water that we're moving is coming out of the field to the north. I know that culvert was redone quite a few years back. It was not done by the state. It was done by a private landowner to capture more water. So all of that can kind of be tied in this project. Colin was just needing a direction of what the town wanted to go.
Were you wanting to talk about First Street too, or no?
First Street will be one we'll have to fund with MVH. So we'll have to really build that account up, or possible loans or possible, anything we can get from CCMG is a win because it's 20%. I don't know how easy it's going to be going forward. They used to do 2 calls a year. Now they're doing 1. I think Colin said they got real competitive. Everybody wants that. And I'm sure with SEA 1, some of that funding went away.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just really like to tie off that stormwater issue on that street. There's nothing else we can do but build it in, bury it, and make it an actual stormwater project. It'll go onto our books for our stormwater system. We've got plenty of money in the stormwater account to cover our portion of it. So that's my proposal.
Is this the one that's here?
This is just the BF&S engineering fees. So there was another contract sent out with the 3 proposals.
Right.
The first proposal was Madison to gas line. And the second proposal was to continue the paving without stormwater from gas line around the corner to the blacktop. The third proposal was First Street total reclamation.
Yeah, that was going to have to be milled down and totally redone. I think.
Yes, that was going to be quite the project. So I think the first project they proposed, Madison to gas line paving, was $275 to $350. Stormwater was $350 to $400. So it looked like the top end came in at about $750,000, which we only paid 20%. So that's, and then we roll in the engineering fees with that also. Nice thing about Madison, we don't have sidewalks. I don't think we have any trees. We might get into some roots, but that's their fair game. They're in the right of way. So it should be, it's going to be a lot of work just for the stormwater part of it. They're going to be digging up people's driveways. It's going to be quite the mess for a minute, but it'll be nice when it's done. So.
Okay. So do we need to make a motion on any of this stuff? We do, right? Because he needs an answer.
Yeah, if the council thinks that that's the best path forward for the 2027 draw.
I think for the CCMG, I think we need to address Madison Street from Jackson to gas line, because that's It's flooded there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's gonna cause more issues in the long run if we
So-
don't address that.
What does he need to answer on tonight? He needs to answer
What we wanna do.
what we wanna do.
Yeah,
like the
so
project.
which one? Cause he gave us three
Yeah.
different options. Which one do we wanna do? And I think with the budget being kind of tight and not really knowing
Right.
where we're gonna be in the future, I think we do the cheapest one, which sounds like
That's
the
yeah.
cheapest one.
And I did question some of the pricing, and he's still working on it. It caught me off that 2 blocks of paving was the same amount as 4 blocks of paving.
Yeah.
So I don't know but he said those are just numbers we throw. Then we go start to bid. That's when it starts getting real. If the stormwater pipe magically becomes, like COVID toilet paper, price is going to go up. So that's just real world stuff. But I don't really see anything other than maybe getting a contractor in to do it. It's, that might be a struggle. So,
Well, I'm in consensus with the two of you on Madison.
It's had issues. I mean, they even came in and dug ditches in there trying to reroute
Move
the
it.
water, and that doesn't do anything for it. I mean, it has legitimately been an issue for years there. And this kind of be the way to fix that infrastructure and get that section taken care of. So
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the Madison Street portion from Jackson to, do we say gas line?
yeah.
I'll second.
okay, been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion to carry 5-0.
Brandy, you want me to contact Colin, or do you want to send something to him, or make it
Randy,
more official if it comes from you?
Randy, we got the recycling program here that was tabled from June. I believe that was just talking about the issues with them closing down the Clinton Central.
Yeah.
Didn't know if you had any updates on it or if we just need
They're
to.
closing down Clinton Central and, we're talking with, Kirkland right now about relocating. the
So they
business.
might put another one out there, which won't.
And
kill
Kirkland,
us,
well,
huh?
we're just gonna move it down the road more that to Kirkland.
Okay. So we just need to keep that tabled and wait and see what they decide with Kirkland before we decide if we're gonna do anything.
Yeah.
The question is, are we going to put any money into where our recycling is to put another bin out there to accept basically everybody's recycling from the whole county? And it sounds like they're trying to keep another spot on the east side since they closed down the one at Clinton Central High School. Sounds like the town of Kirkland might be trying to get in on it, and then that would mean we wouldn't really have to do anything then, so. Okay, so we can just leave that tabled then, Brandy, until we get more info on that, on what
But if
they're
they don't,
doing.
we're gonna do something.
Yeah, yeah, if they don't, but I don't want to do anything until we know what's going on there, and if there's a chance they end up in Kirkland, then no point in us spending money.
We shipped, 4.15 tons out of there
Really,
last month.
it's a lot. Okay, does anybody have anything on that before we move on? All right, Lewis, he had a meeting with, some people talking about this water filtration.
Yeah.
If you want to give us an update on that.
Yeah, so I met with our new, water, what are we calling him?
Water guy.
Our new water guy, with Chase Thompson. And then we met with Tim Hill from Peerless Midwest and also with BFNS's, water guru. We went through the well house. We walked, tried to walk the water lines out to the water tower, and the old well that's welded shut that I guess back in the day, kids climbed over the barbed wire and filled full of rocks and 2x4s, and they had to dig out and weld the thing shut on, so it could never happen again. But in any event, so where we stand with it now, there's basically from the looks of the way things have been designed for water filtration, we would have one of two options. We would have pressure filtration to chemically treat it, or we would have a gravity filtration option. And the only way that we're going to know is to test what all's in the water and figure out what has to be filtered out. If we're just filtering out iron, then it may be pretty simple. if we're filtering out other big scientific sounding words that I wrote down and then had to research to try to figure out what they're talking about, then it could be a whole host of things that might have to be done to filter it. But Chase is pulling water samples, sending it to the lab to find out what exactly needs filtered out of it, and then we'll on BFNS's side and Peerless's side, they're looking at the system and what compatibility things we would have once we know what we're filtering, so that we can start figuring out what it would take and what cost would be associated with it. Chase and I are going to go to Rossville and to Arcadia to look at their systems. I don't have a date on that yet, but Rossville's using a Duraliter for their filtration system, and they I guess we're gonna look at it and see and talk with Mr. Colby from Rossville about that. And then Arcadia is using a different system. We're gonna do a little show and tell, see how those operate. We have USG coming in to do an assessment on this old water tower, and to give us what exactly needs done to it and what it would take financially to do it, to see if there's a way that we can roll this all into one project, that we can fix filtration and tackle water tower rehab restoration at the same time. So when we go after some of the grants that BFNS has been looking into for us, that we can try to do them together, since they all have to do with water. I guess I don't have anything else to add until we know feedback on those.
Basically, just to summarize it, we're looking to see what system we need and how they work.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to see what it's going to take to rehab that and make that water tower look nice and be usable again.
Yep.
And then once we figure all that out, we can figure out a cost and then search for funding.
Yeah, because so Tim was saying he thinks that there might be more than just the lead paint on the tower. He said that there was some Band-Aids that we were putting on the actual system in the tower too. And so he wants to know exactly what the condition is on all of that as well.
So we're still under contract with McGuire Iron, and all that data should be
With
readily available.
McGuire Iron.
Yes, I have his contact.
His name Dan something?
Yes, Dan Morrow.
Dan Morrow.
Yes.
I for the life of me could not remember. I knew where his card was, but at the time I was asking Tim Hill and Collins guy if they knew who it was, and
He actually has a number to refurbish that,
yeah.
but it's 6 years old, 8 years old. Because at the time it was kind of decided that town of Mulberry didn't need two towers, because
Right.
we built a new one and never put money anywhere to keep the one we had going. So it was kind of a money pit.
Yep.
It was 70 some thousand to take it down, almost 300,000 to refurbish it because of the condition of it. So, but he can just give you,
Yeah.
hey, I got this, nothing has changed there as far as our study, except 10% for inflation or whatever.
Yeah.
So, do you have his contact info?
I do. If you don't mind sending it to me, because I am 99% sure that I know exactly which stack of business cards I have it in and which business card holder thing, but I haven't dug through it yet.
I got it on my phone.
Okay.
I would actually probably, since we haven't seen his face in a while,
Tell them to come.
probably invite him to a meeting just to let him know that we still care about it.
So I have talked to him a few months ago about that. And he said that he would be happy to
Yeah, I talked to
Yeah.
him at the Indiana Rural Water Day at the State House too.
Yeah, see if he can come to their next meeting or the one after, and then if he can give you hard numbers, and they'll have something. And if you want if USG doesn't charge anything,
Yeah, they're just doing an appraisal.
yeah, that's fine. We can
Yeah.
put the numbers together and go.
They are the ones that did Frankfurt's, rehab, and, I forget exactly the numbers that they were able to save from the other quotes they had, but,
Okay, so we're moving in the right direction. But, I mean, this is a huge project and it needs to be done, but obviously before we do anything, we gotta finish out this wastewater. But hopefully Paul is correct, and in the next couple of weeks, that grant's closed and that thing's done.
Yeah, with that. I mean, I think August 31st was the absolute, yes, that was, bad things are gonna happen after that, so.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions for Lewis on the water filtration or water tower rehabs before we move on? No? Nick, utility report. Pay attention to this part because you'll have to do it at some point too for your part.
Don't trust your computer. Okay, so, treatment plant's going well. I actually was able to, got all my stuff done prior to the meeting, so I was able to put all our test results for the wastewater in there if you're interested. Got some problems with our classifications at the plant with the new plant. They're gonna have me get a new classification. And so I have an exam that I need to start studying for. Just gonna take the test and
But you got, if you fail that test, you got a year, right? Where we got like a grace period to get you.
It says 90 days.
Yeah, so sounded like IDEM is saying that we should have known about it, so I'm only gonna have 90 days to pass this. If I don't pass it, then I can no longer be responsible charge at the treatment plant. So then we would have
So
to
no
find
pressure.
somebody. No
No
pressure.
pressure at all.
No pressure at all.
So we'll have to find somebody to cover for a year until I'm allowed to sit for the exam again.
So this, who, is this a GRW thing again, where we should have known something that we didn't know, or what is this?
That's, I don't know if it's 100% GRW, but it's definitely something that we should have known whenever we filled out the,
That should have been,
what's the?
should have been IDEM.
Yeah, when we did
IDEM
the
should have
PD
said that if
report.
you're gonna,
But shouldn't IDEM have, shouldn't GRW be talking to IDEM?
oh, yeah, the plans had to go to IDEM to get approval. At that point, somebody at IDEM should have said, hey, with what you're building, you're now gonna become a class 2 facility. And we're right there on the edge.
I
mean,
thought you could get like some type of like waiver or hardship thing for 365 days.
So that is the extensions to this 90 days. So if they approve me to get an extension, I can get awarded an extension. And I can do that up to a year if they allow it. So if I get close to the end of this 90 days, I'm gonna go ahead and file the extension. And if they wanna give me that blessing to move on, then I can get another 90 days. You know, like we've always said, if you work with IDEM, a lot of times they work with you. So,
and I would let IDEM know that you guys approved the plans. Nowhere in the discussions did anybody mention the classifications of the treatment, the plant operator, the supervisor, anybody. It was never discussed. We don't know. We've always been in class 1, so we always knew what we had to do, pass the test, continue education. And then we put the plant online, and all of a sudden you back up and go, oh, by the way, now you're class 2. So I would let them know that that's the reason you weren't moving forward with getting your class 2 license.
Hopefully you can pass the exam and it's a, non-issue. When do you plan on taking it?
I got my approval letter yesterday. So I can take it now anytime that I want to. I'll have to schedule prior with Ivy Tech. So I'll call them this week or next week and
see if I can schedule that out toward the end of my 90 days.
Do you have any, like, have you seen any of this material before? Are there any study helps or?
Yeah, so I've saved all my study materials from the past, and a lot of that material was studying from class 1 to class 5.
Okay,
So I do have some information.
so there
and I
may
worked-
be a little bit of familiarity.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I worked with Indiana Rural Water as well, and they sent me a bunch of stuff. So I got some here.
Okay.
We have a oxygen multimeter out there at the plant that's out of date. So I'm getting a price on that. I haven't received one yet, but we'll be looking into that. The algae in the clarifier keeps getting worse. My amount of UV light that's shining out is being lessened quicker. The worse the algae gets, the worse the UV light gets. So we've had to take it out and clean it, and I'm looking at having to clean it again this week. So that's a week's time. It's kind of a hassle to have to clean it every.
GRW is on the hook for an answer for that because that was not part of the design or build that we were going to have algae issues. When we fired the plant up, we didn't realize that we were still running chlorine. So there was no algae issues. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait a second, this line needs turned off. Turn it off. Now we have algae issues. So they came up with some, well, you could put a cover on it. No, that's not going to work because that's just going to get blown away, torn up. It's going to be expensive. There are other options, but I'm still pushing them on why this wasn't part of the build. This is what we hire engineering firm for, is to tell us. I asked, they preach this system that we have. Nick says it's working great, doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Why does other areas not have this issue? So no answers yet.
With that, we are getting a new permit for the new plant, and that permit is requiring 4 more tests to be ran. And that's issued to us from IDEM, so nothing we can really do about it. So it's taking my long tests. Now my long tests, instead of doing them twice a week, I do them 3 times a week. And my back T, I'm doing, instead of twice, I do 3 times. And that all together will equal the.
Well, we got you some help. So hopefully
Yeah.
once you get Jaime trained up, maybe by September, you got more time on your hands to keep up with that stuff.
So that's changing as well, but I haven't got it yet. Water department, I got the back tees for this month. Last month were passed, and tests are going well. And the results of those tests is also in your box. So we had some meter reading equipment problems last month. We got a replacement unit for now to borrow, and we have sent the unit in to get repaired, waiting on that to get back.
Is it a warranty issue or is that something we got to pay for?
That'll be something that we have to pay for while it's still serviceable. But the equipment that we have is only able to be serviced after this year. So next year, we'll no longer be able to get it serviced if we have any problems.
Do we want to roll meter reading into our project? Water tower, filtration, meter repair, meter reading? Because I know we looked at Pearl.
Well, we have iPros now.
Yeah.
I think we were maybe looking.
How about being able to read meters from a computer?
Well, no, I mean, just updating what we have, because, I mean, we went from kneeling down, looking at numbers to a mechanical system where you could just wave a wand over it. Do we want to look at upgrading it towards Wi-Fi? Nick can drive by in the truck and never get out, and it slows down long enough for it to hit. And, heck, I could do that. Maybe. But I mean, it's something it might be something that we could throw in, and it's a yay, or throw it in there like, no, that's way offline. Okay. Well, look at another option, but that system is ancient. And
A
it's,
lot of the stuff, we still have meters in there that are 20 years old or older.
yeah, which is costing us money because
Don't put that on your plate. I want you folks on the test. Put that on Chase's plate. Put that on Chase's plate to research that as well while he's researching all this other stuff. You got enough on your plate studying for this test and training Jaime.
But I think you still have all that info, don't you, Nick? for iPearls, and you had that, you even demonstrated some of the other ones with the previous council.
Yeah, a lot of the new stuff, whenever it's, they're going away from mechanical meters, so you stop losing percentage over time, and you're going to ultrasonic. So basically in the flume where the water goes through, there's nothing there.
It's just measuring.
So a lot more accurate, and then they have options, cellular options where you can put on a cell phone tower, and in the office you can press enter and it pulls it all into the computer. And then they got much cheaper options where you can drive a truck around a couple blocks and pick all
We
the
got a
meters
new
up.
tower up, so we could probably.
Flood this town with our effort.
It'll
Dude,
be
I was
great.
thinking, I was forward thinking on that, wasn't I? I was so far ahead of the curve. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see why we can't throw it in there. If it gets shot down, it gets shot down.
Stormwater, we're having a lot less problems on Madison, but it's still flooding. Didn't quite flood the street as much, but it's nice to know we're gonna be looking at that for CCMG. We still got a couple places that need to get paved. I have accepted quotes, and I'm just waiting on contractor to complete work. Still looking at a sign or two to get replaced. One new sign, one old sign. Equipment status, got the bucket truck, all its problems fixed. All the oils changed. We did flags. We got to put out 32 new flags thanks to the community club. And town looked really good over 4th of July. We've lost a couple since then, just due to wind and traffic.
Can we call Crenshaw? I mean, I know you said it's cheaper to wait for them to come back through town, but like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like-
I can,
There has been that open patch job for way too long. What's gonna end up happening is, I don't wanna say, you know how much water is going down in that road?
Well, Crenshaw was just in town because they did the bank. Yeah, they resealed the bank parking lot, last weekend, I saw them.
That's who that was.
Yeah, it was Crenshaw.
I can call them and see where they're at on their schedule.
Yeah, like this, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, cause that's been what? How long has that been open now?
That was you talking about the one on Madison?
Mm-hmm.
That was last fall when
Yeah.
that main broke.
So they didn't know about it till 3-4 weeks ago when I requested the quote and accepted it. But yeah, so that
Well, who was
was,
supposed to come pave it? Cause you told us last time you were waiting on somebody to come back through.
no, that was Crenshaw that we're waiting on. But yeah, I was going into fall into winter. So if they shut down the pavement thing, that's why that took so long. And then I got the quotes and now we're just waiting on that. But I could call them and see where they're at on their schedule.
I tried to get the paving company that did the patches for wastewater, but absolutely no way were they coming off because of the federal grants and everything else. They said they didn't want any part of it.
Okay.
If Crenshaw keeps pushing us back,
You got American Paving, it's called.
you can try,
There's a couple others around, I think.
I can get other quotes.
I'm saying if it gets too far back, we could probably just mobilize it when we do Madison Street. We just order the extra, we pay it out of our pocket. 90% of the cost is mobilization. It's not the actual
Well,
work.
But Madison Street's not gonna be done till next year.
If,
You don't leave it
if
open
we
another
push,
winter?
I don't want to, but if we push it clear to the fall and they close the plant down, you're not gonna open it up till April.
Yeah.
So you're already there.
I also don't want to pay $8,000 for a crew to come in to do a 20 by 20 patch,
No, but wasn't there another one that they needed to do too
Yes.
There's several.
on First?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, the longer these sit open and exposed, the worse it is on the roads. Did you get your crack sealing done, Gordy?
I've already talked to him about, I'm where Collins, they're supposed to have been out, but I'm gonna have to ask Colin why they weren't. Nick, go ahead.
All summaries I didn't get to in depth this time. CCMG. We already talked about that. There's some pricing that I stole out of there to show you guys in case you didn't see it. Part-time applications, background checks, all this stuff, Kyle's stuff came back, so let me know that I went on ahead and hired him. And your action items are CCMG and part-time, full-time employees, and both of those have already been taken care of.
Did you get another one for Chuck, or is he deciding to stick around, or what's the deal there?
No, I was talking to somebody and then text stopped coming, so I'll reach back out to him. But like I said, I'm kind of at a point where I'm kind of pursuing my avenues. So I think we're looking at probably needing to post for that part-time position. And honestly, if I probably wouldn't want to wait much longer. So if you guys want to post, we can post it.
I'd say post it then.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to get a hold of somebody, they're not getting back with you.
Post it and see
Yeah.
who, put it wherever you want to put it, part-time. See who throws a name in the hat and go from there.
This ain't welfare. We're looking for somebody to come in and work.
Yeah. Okay. And then now that we got Chase hired and we got Jaime hired, so you're going to do wastewater and sewer, right? Stormwater and wastewater. And he's going to do streets and parks, and Chase is going to do water. That's going to be the primary responsibilities. Am I missing something?
2 part-time employees.
And then you'll have 2 part-time employees to help out, which you and Jason, you guys are going to have to work out who's got the most work to do that day. You know what I mean? And who's going to need the help, depending on what we got. Summertime, probably going to be streets and parks because they're going to have mowing and weeding and everything else. But you guys figure that out.
But Chase is just a part-time.
He's just a part-time,
to
but
the water.
he's taking care of, he can do all the water tests. He can do all that stuff on his 2 hours that he's here. The only thing that somebody's probably gonna have to do for him is meter reading, because I don't know how long it's take you to meter read. Takes a while. So that may be something where you have to have somebody else meter read so we can figure that out, which without driving the streets, teach him how to do it. But just make sure we're all on the same page with that. That's kind of where the areas of responsibility be. Now, since you've been here, kind of need you to show these new guys around and teach them like where stuff is and, all that kind of stuff. Give them a place to work out at the shop, give them a desk, place they can work out of, an office. But beyond that, we're going to expect you guys to kind of work together and do what's right for the town, and all be on the same page. And if there's issues, let us know.
So whenever I was writing stuff up, I was looking at maybe the stormwater being part of the streets, because a lot of the stormwater we have that to keep the streets clear from water, and then all the stuff that's on the street goes into the storm system. So I was thinking the Parks and Street guy would have to take care. There's not a lot to do there.
There's no
If we got
testing, there's no permitting. It's just
If that's what you,
clean out
I just didn't
We
know.
talked about that before we did the job description and took that back out of it.
I didn't know if the sewer and the stormwater would kind of be the same. Because don't they go to the same spot pretty much? Where's the stormwater go? Well, I know
It's
it's.
a bad day.
I meant in the sense that it's all underground piping and stuff.
No, that's why we separated.
But the stormwater goes out to the Elliott ditch, right?
So it goes that way,
Or Wildcat.
goes out that way, and then it also leaves town on gas line.
Okay.
The big responsibility there would be the culverts and stuff that we do own. We took a back truck around before and suck all the stuff that's in the bottom out. So it's not super in depth.
Why don't you keep it for right now, but that's something we can discuss in the future
Yes.
as far as, let's not overwhelm the new guy, giving him too much. Let's get him started on streets and parks. And once he gets that down and he's understanding everything he needs to do there, if you want help with stormwater and you want to help with stormwater, how about it? It's all a team, work together. Okay. Good. Did you have anything else? Okay. Jason.
Looking there, the calls and so forth, all fairly steady. Last month was some vacations and so forth, so hours worked were down, mileage, all that was down. It's relative. Here, the numbers are going to go down. Still, Wednesday is by far, Wednesday evening, by far still our highest call volume for whatever reason. My notes, this goes to our ordinances, and this is a question for someone that's been on the board for a while. I cited somebody for parking, and our current ordinance says is the title or chapter or whatever, what it's called, is set currently 75. However, our pay schedule, there's a chart says title chapter 76. And actually in our Spillman police computer, it's entered as 76. So it's somewhere at some time, the parking's manifested from 75 or from 76 to 75. So I just wanted to bring your attention. I have changed it on the stuff I hand out. So when there's fines, I've actually had Spillman, the person in charge of Spillman, to change it to 75. But there was an issue. I don't know what had happened. If anyone can answer that. I've researched and I can't find any Title 76 in our current ordinances.
It's traffic schedule
Yeah, traffic schedules, not parking.
is 76, parking is listed as
75.
75. So it probably got changed when it got recodified. I'm guessing that there was something in there that was either combined or there was something in there that was like repealed in its entirety and then it moved up to 75 from 76.
Yeah, and the traffic stuff I've been told
Or,
we can't enforce from the front.
correct. Or what happened is there was a typo on something that went to the police.
That's what
And that could possibly have happened. I would have to look at our old, but
So-
it's definitely 75 in our ordinances as published.
So the pick, I'm talking about that matrix that has, first offense one.
ordinance
I
by-
changed it on the one I
Okay.
have to pass out. So
Perfect.
I just wanted to bring that.
So that
to
should
you.
be resolved then.
Yes.
Perfect.
The AC went out at the police department, had, what's the company that we have services? TL Myers. TL Myers services in the fall and the spring. They came out, the fan motor had went out. That unit is 25 years old. The furnace is 25 years old. I said, well, just ballpark, what's a new AC unit? $6,000.
Just for the AC?
Yes,
unit?
and the furnace was actually cheaper. It was like,
That
I
is
think
crazy
four, so
talk.
10 grand, and that's what I said. So, but he said, honestly, he
You
said,
guys
there's
quoted them
nothing
for a whole
wrong
house
with.
for 3,700.
Yeah, he said, there's nothing wrong with this system. He said, it's just older. He said, matter of fact, I can't remember, something to do with all the regulations that are coming out with those systems. What we currently have is going to be better than what we would get by buying something new. So he's made suggestion, continue servicing and doing what we're doing. So just to bring that to your head. And that was paid out of I sent it through out of our futures that money I'd set budgeted for that type of stuff, for roof and stuff going out. The AD cases came in and they have been deployed into the cars now. So we have one in each car and one at the station. And that was all from a grant that Steve was able to get us, the Community Foundation. And then the last thing I had, and it was brought up, I think the last meeting, and I asked Leitra, and she was kind of, the Lexipol funding, where are we going to pull it from? It's not an emergency yet. I got an email saying, hey, this is coming due in September. We'll send you an invoice next month. So I think it was talked about that we were going to pull it from the deputies Lowit and move it to my what I call
I think we just have
technology.
to find out whether or not we can legally move it without appropriating.
So
We
I'm
can do
just
an
bringing that
additional
up. That's,
appropriation if we need to do an additional appropriation,
Make
but
it
we need to know what fund it's coming from and what fund it's going into, or else I can't do.
Well,
ordinance
we were
stuff.
wanting to take it because we were paying deputy salary that we're no longer paying from a portion that came out of the Lowit money.
Right.
And since it's sitting there not being used and might not be through the end of the year. So,
and it would go to, I've got it here, what the funds we're paying that out of. It would go into Riverboat or Cume Cap because my technology is being paid out of both of those funds.
Yeah, right. No. So you would want to move it from the low deputies line to, well, I think I don't know that you have to necessarily move it into either one of those to pay it. We
Well,
have to,
No, we just have to appropriate.
we just have to
Why
appropriate. it to
don't,
be
why don't
paid.
we hold off on that though? Cause we're getting ready to do budget hearings and once we do those, we should be able to kind of see where we can, cause we'll be looking at what we got left this year and then rebudgeting for next year too. Right?
Is
So-
Lexipol a yearly fee,
Yes.
semi?
Yes.
And I had,
We need
and
to-
I'm,
Yeah.
and the reason why we doubled up this year, because we went like a year and a half without paying it.
Yeah.
Because they were sending it to Mark Mitchell.
How much was it
email.
again?
2100.
It's gonna be roughly 2,100.
We're gonna dive into the budget and I'd like to have all the budget hearings in August and get it done in the month of August. So we can, last year we did 3 hearings. We got it
Yeah,
done. And then we just have to do the readings later on, but we should be able to figure it out then.
Will we know how the Senate bill is gonna affect this by that?
But Nitra's in clerk treasurer's school right now, so I'm hoping she's learning all about it.
So just to make sure that I've got what I need to know, we're going to hold off on any additional appropriation ordinance or anything like that until further notice.
Yeah, till I get, cause I don't wanna
That's
pay you, I don't wanna pay you to write another ordinance when
No, that's fine.
we're getting ready to dive into the budget and we might have the money there. We might be able, we might see it right in front of our face, so.
I just need to let Anita know, because she was working on that. with me.
Yeah.
So I will pause on that and then I'll let her know that we're not.
Pause on that. Let us do our budget. Let us start working into our budget. And Jason, just make sure when you come to the budget hearings, you're pushing that we get that figured out too.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a problem after this year's, because we had to double up on
Yeah, yeah.
it, and Alicia let me not pay.
What?
Wouldn't let me not pay.
Oh, no, you're paying.
Okay.
Essential.
Well, Mitchell's county council now, that's where the money comes from. Just keep sending it to him. You guys make everything so hard.
Lastly, and I know some people obviously have drove by it, the property at 315 Jefferson Road, the yard looks literally like a jungle.
Yep.
That has been bought by Carrington Mortgage. I've been working on it for, seems like a month, but apparently it's only been a week. I finally just today got to actually talk to a person, and that person didn't like me very much. They hung up the phone. And then literally about 60 seconds later, I get a phone call, and it was her supervisor. And she was a pleasant lady, and we were able, not being sarcastic, she really was, and she understood. But the problem is it's it's in limbo. The person is technically not out, so they got to evict that person, even though I kept telling them that person's not been seen there. I've talked to the neighbors, and she goes, our investigator saw her car there, and they got a photograph apparently of her car a week ago or whatever. And I'm like, okay.
Somebody there a week or so ago.
Yeah, so I said, okay. I said, so when will you basically start maintaining this property? Because they want, their hands are tied. They don't want to go on her property, even though it's deeded to them.
Right.
Think about that. Yeah, it's silly. And that she couldn't understand that apparently. But I said, so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to issue your company a citation. Our town is going to come in and mow that. And Brandy and I went through the mow. It's $200. Administrative fee is $250, and the citation is $200. So this little first time deal is $650. And she goes, send it to us, we'll pay it. And I said, and then if it goes in violation again, and you're still not got your stuff all squared away, she goes, then we'll pay that too. She goes, but we prefer to pay the fines and so forth than to have a lien put on the property. And I said, okay. So they, a citation, and she's already emailed back that they'd received it and they forwarded it to the proper people. And so we should hopefully, so somebody's, Nick or, somebody will have to go down there with a weed whacker, and I'm not kidding you, the weeds out back are trees.
It's like it's like the pink house.
Oh, well, yeah.
The one down the road a little bit.
That's
There was
the-
some older
those
gentleman
are
mowing
the
it the other day though. I drove by, there was some guy out there mowing it.
Yeah.
I mowed that property.
pond.
I mean, it's still all grown up around the
Yeah,
house, but he
around
knocked
sides
the,
of house.
knocked the grass down at least.
So anyways, that's what's going on with that property. You know, and hopefully we won't have it. I'm sure the people right next to them that's trying to sell their house is not very happy, but.
Don't go remote.
Forget about selling that house for what he's got listed for,
What do they list it
430,000.
for? That's all. That's all I have.
Okay. Randy?
Nothing.
Lindsay?
Yes. So I didn't have anything prepared last month, but because we had kind of talked about it the month before and I didn't expect any issues. So we brought up side-by-sides and it got shot down. So I did print out some information for you guys because I am not comfortable just saying, oh, Jason, don't enforce this ordinance. I'm not comfortable with that because then we run into the issue of people coming and saying, well, they're not enforcing this one. What's to say they're going to enforce this one? I would rather have something in writing than just to tell Jason not to enforce it. So I know some of the concerns were damage to the streets. So I did print out, here's a weight comparison chart. A side-by-side weighs between 1,200 and 2,500 pounds. A passenger car starts out at 2,800 pounds. Your street damage comes from the weight, the axle weight. So that being said, and as far as safety concerns go, we just follow what the state says. I have counted, and I did try and stop some people, but it's very hard to stop. I don't know what you want me to do, run out in the middle of the road. But I have talked to a couple people going by my house, and one of them is a gentleman that lives here in town. The others are a lot of families from out of town that are coming in to go to the ball fields, to South Fork. And I will tell you, they always drive extremely respectful in our town.
You don't go to the west side of town, do you?
No, but I tell you what, the cars go faster down the road in front of my house than any of these side-by-sides
You're
ever
full
have.
of shit.
Oh, Gordy, do not talk to me like that.
I'm just telling you the way it is. You're telling me everything is on the east side of town. You're not saying nothing about the west side of town.
I don't live over there, Gordy. I'm going off what I can see from my home, okay?
You're seeing
Jason,
one side of it.
what's the issue with the west side of town?
Gordy tells me every month that people are speeding up and they don't mind on.
Okay, do we sit there and,
But yeah, I don't remember what month, but I sat there and did a traffic study. I reported that back.
You need to do it every month for a couple hours.
Well,
so anyway, so to get back to this, so a lot of the farmers bring their side-by-sides into town. I guess I am not understanding what the issue would be to adopt the state ordinance that the county already has adopted to allow side-by-sides in town, to make it legal. We can sit there and say, you can't take them into the gravel alleys. That would prevent any damage in the alleys. They can't go down any gravel alleys. But as far as the roads go, they have.
So every person that you've mentioned, except you, does not live in this community.
No,
They're bringing their side-by-sides. They're bringing their side-by-sides into town. The weight of the side-by-side is not an issue for me. It's the aggressive tires. So when the pavement gets hot, I've got one sitting in my house. That's a project. The guy just put brand new tires on it before I got it. I mean, my gosh, they're like that.
There's a guy that lives on Park Street that has one, and he drives it all over because it's hard. He has a disability, and it's hard for him to get in and out of his truck. It's very, I mean, he comes up to the gas station. I mean, it's his primary form of transportation. I did talk with him. He was shocked because he did not realize that there was no ordinance allowing them. He thought that they would be considered the same thing as a golf cart.
Why do we need to have an ordinance to allow them? Why don't we just get rid of the ordinance or take it out of the ordinance that disallows them and then they're followed under state law, just like a car?
Well, and that's fine. But right now, our ordinance states that you can't have them.
Is that what?
And I will, I will say, yes, Frankfurt did it.
What did Frankfurt do? Did they just take the ordinance out or?
They just took it out of their ordinance that said we don't allow it, and they said it falls under state law, just
Yeah.
like a car.
But But with the Frankfurt one,
You have to have insurance, you have to be registered,
Yes.
you have to be 16 years old. It's a 0 alcohol tolerance on those. So like your car, you can drive your car as long as you're under 08 and not impaired, right? Legally. Those you cannot. You get pulled over and you've had one beer, it's over. Whether you're legally intoxicated or not. There's a lot more restrictions. So if you're under a certain age, you got to wear a helmet. Seatbelt's got to be on for them to
You
move.
can't be on them if you're under 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot more restrictions on them than there are cars.
What do you think, Jason? You're the one not enforcing, are enforcing, semi-enforcing?
Tell me what to do, and that's what I'll do. In my opinion, I reported like last month. I mean, I don't believe there's really an issue prior to this. So creating or not creating, if it becomes a problem, then we can always put it back. But that's why I was saying, was it just last month when we shut it down or 2 weeks
Yes,
ago?
last month. Because we had talked about it the month
But-
before and everybody was good with
But I
it.
kept saying, if we pass an ordinance, then we gotta turn around the one that we have and take out the part that says you can't. So it'd be much easier instead of creating one, just draw
Removing
the
it.
line that says you can't, and then it reverts
Does
back
that
to the
work,
state
Alicia?
law. Personally, I would like to see, and I think the board said no, but I'd like to see them registered with the golf, like just like the golf carts. So not only every 3 years you got to do it with the BMV, but you got to do it annually here. So then we're got a little bit of checks to make sure the lights are on, the brakes, all that stuff is working, and it's just a little bit better, keep people in
Yeah, 'cause
compliance.
I've seen
So-
some that are like those razors that
Yes.
are straight up off-road. Those are not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Well, those don't have headlights. Those don't have
Well,
brake lights.
then
They don't
they
have.
can't be on the road.
There's one down here and it does have headlights and so forth, but it's a
But it's,
sand rail, you know what I mean? But it has all.
but it's no different than the tires that are
Right.
on the Jeeps that they take down to the Badlands
So-
that drive on the roads every day.
You just tell me what you want me to do and that's what I'll do. But you asked my opinion. I think if we're going to go that direction, treat them like golf carts and register them.
So people that live outside the community, would they have to
Yes.
register?
If
Just
they
like
wanna
the golf
drive it
cart.
over,
If they want to drive it Mulberry. Same way with their golf carts.
Okay, let's make a little money then, make the registration for Marlboro $250.
You can't, yeah, I don't agree with that.
Why not?
Because
If they tear up an alley and Nick's gotta go put gravel down, it's gonna be more than $250. I guarantee I could take that POS I have, go hit one of these gravel alleys, and by the time I got done, there wouldn't be a piece of gravel in it.
then that's why I said you write something that states they can't be in the alleys. You can dictate what roads they can and can't be
But you
on.
gotta catch them.
Yes. That,
I can dictate speed limit on 38 up there, it's 30 miles an hour. I guarantee I can sit on my porch and count 15 cars an hour and not run 30.
so to answer your question, Lindsay, yes, we can exclude them from our present ordinance and say that they're allowed and they have to follow state law. If we do that, we cannot, then we don't have the ability to govern whether or not they drive on alleys and that sort of thing. So if you want to have more control over it, if you want to do the golf cart, registration process, if you want to say you're not allowed to drive on alleys, those sorts of things, then we would have to do a separate ordinance to govern side by side specifically. So it kind of just depends on how much control you want. If you want it to just follow state law, we can just exclude it from our present ordinance and say that they are allowed and they follow state law. If you want more control though, it needs its own ordinance.
Jason, what do you think? Let it go with just removing the ordinance for now, see how it goes, and we add a new one if we need to?
I don't really have an opinion.
Don't put Jason.
I was gonna say, be honest.
I mean, I know
with
you
I'm
said
here
you
to-
haven't had any,
No, I've not had any issues, but then again, we've not opened the door and say, do it either. And I know that's what Dave is saying. And if people are damaging, it's like any other crime. I mean, they gotta be caught. But the city of Frankfurt just had where it wasn't four-wheelers, it was cars. And they were doing donuts by the tennis courts. And those people, their parents, the agreement was great, but they had to go in and repair the damage done with a car doing donuts in a gravel parking lot. It's individuals and not necessarily the equipment.
Make a motion, I'm done beating this horse.
I don't have a motion to make.
It's not my argument here. I don't know what we're wanting to do.
I mean, I kind of wanted to get everybody's opinion. I mean, what would you rather see happen? Do a whole new ordinance or just remove it? Talking to the board.
Leave what it is, and we want to
Just
spend money for lawyers and write it for.
turn a blind eye and enforce
We're
the
gonna
ones
change
that
in
are
6 months.
being knuckleheads.
What is it that we need the ordinance for?
Because right now they are prohibited in town, even on personal property. You cannot even have them on your own personal property.
I'll tell you what my biggest hang up with the whole thing is. I could care less whether we have side by sides here in town or not. I really don't care. What I care is I don't like being the guy that says you, the private citizen, can't have one, but my town guys will drive theirs around town. I don't like that. I know there's exemptions in the law. Still don't like it.
Did you say though, as far as the state's concerned, it is legal?
It's legal.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so it's
So
legal to
what
have in the
happens-
county
What
too.
happens if, does our law supersede the state's law?
Yes.
Because it's more restrictive. The more restrictive law.
We
is
can
the
make-
one that we follow.
We can make our town ordinances more restrictive than state law, but we cannot make them more lenient than state law. So in order to allow them, it would already have to be legal in the state.
Are these allowed on the state road?
No,
No,
they're
they
like
can only
golf
cross,
carts.
just like a golf cart, they can only cross.
Just from-
There's actually 2 county roads,
And Mulberry, Jeff, and,
Gasoline?
no, Michigan Town Blacktop.
Yeah, there you go.
So I really don't care.
But if you go to Frankfurt, you're gonna be sitting in traffic behind one or behind a golf cart or out on 28.
Well, they're not supposed to be on.
Yeah, they can be on 28.
They run 28 all the time over there.
You guys decide what you want to do here. I don't care. I'm game for whatever.
I mean, Lewis, what's your thought?
Well, I don't really, I've not had anybody call me wanting it one way or the other, and I don't have any strong feelings about it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am.
Like, I'm fine if we want to do it, but then I'm also fine if we say we don't want to do it. Like, it's one of those issues that I don't have strong feelings on. It seems like Dave and Lindsay are the two with strong feelings.
I had citizens reach out to me and said that they're off-road vehicles. They're designed to be off-road. I get a golf cart, in my opinion, is for a golf course, but I can see where they help, the elderly. You're talking about a gentleman that has heart issues. It could be a lot easier to get in and out of a golf cart than climbing out of side by side. I've been in ORVs, I've been in the Razors, I know I can get out of a golf cart a lot easier than I can a side by side. So to me, that argument has,
He uses his for primary.
Well, we've been beating this horse for 10 minutes, so somebody make a motion or let's move on.
I make a motion to remove the restriction on side by sides.
That motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, that motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
nay.
Randy?
So
Randy's opposed. Jesus Christ.
Bucks, Joey.
Yeah. We're just talking about removing the restrictions,
Following state law.
following state law. I'll vote in favor.
Okay.
Aye.
So I will get that ordinance revised to remove the restriction for the side by sides and follow state law. And then you'll have to pass the ordinance, because it will be a revision, an amendment to the ordinance.
Is the ordinance gonna have registration?
Not the way that we're
If-
planning to do it. All we're going to say is that they have to follow state law and they're allowed.
Which means they're registered at the B&B.
Correct.
And if we wanted to make them register here, we would have to do our own ordinance allowing them, huh?
Well, I mean,
Why couldn't we say if you're gonna drive them in town, you,
yes, you have to do your own ordinance allowing them.
Modify the golf cart.
Yes, so the original iteration of the ordinance that I had drafted did have registration like golf carts, because that was my understanding. Then we didn't want to do that, so I changed it. So we can do that if that's what you all want, but it's up to
I'm
y'all.
fine with that. I don't care. I mean, I don't have a problem with the town benefiting from it.
I don't have a side by side. I'm not gonna register one. I could care less. I don't think they hurt the streets. I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. It's not gonna be any worse than the
It
golf
was a
carts.
non-issue till it was brought up.
I know.
Everybody was happy with the way it was.
So I'm just saying, I could care less. You guys wanna,
Let's talk
Make
about
it
it at
work, sure.
7:30. We've talked about this. I mean, we're working on $10 million projects. We've been talking about damn side-by-sides longer than anything else.
Yep.
So if we want to register them, then they can register them. If they don't, I don't care.
okay, the only thing I got is I got budget hearings that I think we need to get on the books, guys. So I'd like to try to get at least 2 scheduled in August. So I'd like to see what the board's availability is to get special notices out on these budgets.
Do you need me to attend those?
Probably not.
Well, can we do one prior to the actual meeting that we have? That way.
Well, that's gonna be hard to do though, Lewis, because our meetings are the 5th. And the 1st is a Saturday and the 2nd is a Sunday. So you're talking a Monday, Tuesday.
What? I mean, like prior to the meeting itself. Can we say that we're gonna meet
Special meeting before the.
special
Like at 5
meeting before the council meeting?
Oh, yeah. We can do
Then we
that.
don't have to spread
I
it
got
for
you.
2 days. We just
Yeah, I was,
say, hey, we have
the
first
side by
meeting-
side threw my brain off.
We have the first meeting at 4 or 5, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we can do that. So 8/5 at 5 PM.
Physical therapy all the way through
Nick,
the month
is that
of
just for
August.
board or is that for Nick and I too?
Yes, for everybody.
Everybody that spends money.
I don't know where time-wise where I'll
It
be.
wouldn't be a bad thing.
So I'll make what I can make.
Yeah, Anitra, she didn't tell me she was available on the 5th, but that doesn't make sense because that's our regular board meeting, right?
What about,
So,
are people busy, like we jump 2 weeks later to the 19th for
so
the second one?
Anitra gave me the 18th is a good day for her.
Doesn't make any difference to me. 18th, 19th.
So let's go 8/18. And then if we need to do, you want to do 5 PM again?
That's fine.
And then if we need to do a third one, we can schedule it that day.
Yeah.
So the tentative, the third one is the 19th?
No, tentative would be, we'll schedule it on the 18th if we need a third one.
And what time on the
When was the
18th?
first two?
The 5th,
The 5th at 5 o'clock.
The 5th
And
and
then
the
the 18th.
18th,
Oh,
Six.
I thought you
What time
said
on the
18th was the tentative.
18th, 5 o'clock. Both of them 5 PM.
On the 18th, they'll come up with another date.
Oh, okay, they'll come up with a third date.
Yes.
Okay, that's-
Side by side's got him off too.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right, that's all I needed. So we got those done. We can get that going. And you need to get can you get a hold of the fire department to come?
Yeah.
To one,
Yep.
so we can renegotiate that.
We set it up like for the 18th.
Okay. Dave, you got anything?
Flags, good job, Nick. That was kind of on the fly. I worked with Joey, the community club. Joyce Newton was really adamant that she wanted flags. She made it happen. Nick helped out. I don't know if you got any help from the community club or not.
Yeah, they had the flags.
Well, they put them together, I know, like on the truck. They said they would drive the truck if, I
No,
said
they're
no.
more than willing to help. It just didn't work out, but we had Chuck and I got out there and got them up, so not
Yep.
really a problem.
Look good. Yeah, very good. Second
Yeah.
one, I read an article in the paper the other day that the Frankfurt Council was collecting the wheel tax from the county. Is that something that Mulberry can do?
I would reach out to the DLGF and see if the town is allowed to do it. I know the city is, but I would reach out to them. They can come and do a presentation. If you're going to do it though, you're probably not going to get that done before September 1st of this year. In order to make it effective, it has to be completed by September 1st. The process is that you have to do an ordinance. You have to then send it to the Indiana BMV to get permission. And then after you get permission from them, like they approve the ordinance, then you can pass it and everything like that. And there's a whole bunch of documentation that has to occur. So they've been working on it since June. But my recommendation would be to reach out to the DLGF and see if that's something that the town can do. Because you're different than the city. But if you can do it, then yes, you're just going to have to do it for next year and start collecting it for 2027 or for 2028 rather than 2027.
Okay.
Because there's just no way it will happen.
Funding avenue. I don't know what it would bring in, but I
Yeah.
just read that. And last thing, water. do we get a report from the fire department on gallons pumped? I know we had a major fire east of town a couple days ago. Nick has to do a water report that he has to send to IDEM. I know I seen Sheffield come in town twice with the tanker and fill up at the park and fill up at the,
There were 4 and 9, 4 tankers from different companies when I drove by.
It was Rossville, Sheffield, Frankfurt, and
Buck
us.
Creek.
but
Buck
do,
Creek came too.
do,
Michigan town.
I don't think we've ever gotten.
That's something we need to discuss with the fire
Well, I mean,
department then.
if they pump 40, 50,000 gallons of water, Nick has to have that on his water usage report because IDM hammers him. You charge this town of Mulberry for 200,000 gallons. You pump 290. Where's the 90,000 at? And then they're starting to hammer. Well, I know it's a fire and the fire hydrants, but there's got to be some, hey, there's 5 tankers, they're 10,000 gallons. That ain't hard math, 50,000 gallons. My expectation is they came over with water, but I can't say that for sure. I'm not a fireman. But
Hey, Dave, to answer your question, you have to have a population of 5,000 or more. Does Mulberry have a population of 5,000? So then we cannot collect the real fast.
take that off.
Nope, I think we're just under 2,000.
I think a Sheffield tanker, 3,000 gallons.
Yeah, I just know they were running around going crazy and they stirred up rust and
What they were doing was going back and dumping into a big tub,
pumping.
take off and
Oh, I mean, I get it. That's the reason it's there. But there's also other things that we have to report and things that we have to do that they don't understand. And sometimes I just don't think they honestly care.
they had 2 hoses hooked up to the fire hydrant, one coming out each side of it.
So, all right. That's all I got. We're gonna meet with the fire department, so that's something we can throw at them.
Louis?
I know Brandy's gonna bring it up, on a different note, but the mural project, with the help of Bridget, I wrote the grant for the creating spaces. And we'll find out Friday if it's approved, but Bridget said, everything's great and it checked all the boxes and she's expecting it to go through. So when that happens, it will, everything we raise, provided they hit the goal, they will match. So they're gonna try to raise 20,000 and then the state will match 20,000, which means that they could do that mural and then the 3 smaller murals that they want to do. So it could grow into a bigger project if they're able to get it. And I think that they should be able to get it. And so I know here in a minute, Brandy's going to need us to take a vote. But the only other thing, I was just sitting here, I feel a little bad. Gordy, if you could just be a little more professional when you talk to Lindsay, that just find a more constructive way to disagree. I don't know. I didn't feel very good about you saying she was full of shit. I just wanted to say that. I think you're a good guy. I think you got valid comments. Whatever.
Thank you, Louis.
I'm done.
Okay. Brandy?
Okay, all I need is the council to give the okay for us to create a revenue fund, and then an appropriation fund for, because we're the sponsors of that mural, for the Creating Spaces grant. So we just need to make sure we keep that separate of any of our other monies coming in and out. So I just need approval to be able to create that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Alicia?
I don't have anything.
Good. Public comment?
Terry Myers, 42 West Street. I don't know the answer or the solution. But is it not illegal to drive a golf cart on sidewalks?
Yes.
It is illegal to drive on a highway.
Yes.
I sit on my portion of the lot. There are umpteen golf carts go by. Dollar General. Sidewalk or the highway. I never see a police officer in the evening.
Okay.
In the
So
lot.
In the evening.
Why?
Why don't we see him in the evening?
I don't see any,
It's me and one other guy and he works 10 hours a week.
but I don't see anybody down there in the evening.
I can't
Didn't
answer
we-
for that. I
I
know
thought we
Is there
talked about
anybody on
that,
leave?
to allow them to go from west to
Yes,
Dollar
one.
General, they could
once
use
a
that
week,
sidewalk?
every other Monday and every other Wednesday.
Didn't we talk about that in?
And not necessarily in the evening, every other Monday. Kind of the days, Wednesday is the every other evening.
Okay, whenever they're on, they can go down to West Street and watch all that.
Mhm.
So my question is,
All, go ahead.
100% of them are illegal because they're going to Dollar General. How do they get there if they're on?
Well, that's the question. Do we want to, do we want to look into building a driveway in there? Do we want to look at because they're going to do it, Harry.
Well, I know
They're going to do it. Or do we want to look at amending our ordinance to say that specific section, you can drive on the sidewalk to get into Dollar General? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Elderly person trying to navigate through there gets whacked by some 8-year-old on a golf cart, and we've said, no, that's okay, you can do that. I think
Well, the other thing is.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that's what we need to
park
do.
the golf cart and walk their ass on the sidewalk.
The other thing is, I know you're supposed to be 16, but you'd be surprised how many 10 or 12-year-olds drive golf carts. And if nobody's around, you're not gonna see it.
You talking about the police being
Yeah.
around?
Exactly right.
Well,
We don't have 24.
we don't have 24/7 coverage.
I understand that.
So,
I mean, we had we had better coverage when we had Steve Jones, but unfortunately he
Right.
wasn't here very long. So, and I don't know right now as a council, I don't know if we could afford another 40-hour a week with this new Senate bill.
yeah, we're
I'm
gonna,
not saying it has to be every night. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But when somebody's on, at least down there to check it out.
I mean, I do see Josh sitting outside of town a little bit in that, or not outside, it's still in town, but he sits up there, but
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm on, and then here soon I'll be on average till probably 6, not this late, but close to this. But I'll say something to Josh when he does work to pay attention to that. I've seen one during the day, but it must be like what you're saying. in the
Most
evening,
of them are from 3 to 8.
3 to 8. We'll look into it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I think the only option that a golf cart could probably get to Dollar General is if they went all the way around through the nursing home and went catty corner straight across out of the nursing home. That'd probably be your only option.
Paul was still here, but I can't remember, but someone had approached me and because I said, back behind you, could we come off Wyandotte and make a path into Dollar General? And you said, because there is easement, but there's not.
yeah, there's too much back there.
Yeah, so, but it was talked and I, and it was kind of just dropped at that point, but, I think honestly, because a lot of people from the Mulberry Health, I see them walking, it would be awful nice that there was an actual path, like they've got one that no one uses, you know what I'm saying? It's over to the east. If they would create another path, or we could go in cohorts with them to create another path, off of that, west parking lot, and do exactly what Joey's saying is a direct shot right to that drive. So it fixes what Harry's talking about, and it allows a safer method of travel for their residents. But,
Well, basically, they can't go there. If you see a golf cart at Dollar General.
No, they
Yeah,
can. They can do anything you want.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no way they got there without it being illegal.
without violating the law.
So it's just one of them deals.
It would be the same with the side by
Don't
side.
take the golf cart to Dollar General.
They can. That's it.
People live just right out the other side of the library, got a golf cart. And when you see them walking the golf cart, they're on 38.
That's the one I see.
All right, any other public comment?
Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good, we are adjourned.